These are illegal Venezuelan immigrants part of the Tren de Aragua gang breaking into an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. At least that's what the current narrative going viral on Twitter is right now.
They're armed and ready. They'll try to wipe your windows and then come rob you.
I see that bullet hole in my bedroom window, huh?
That's a bullet hole right there?
We've been terrorized. Gunshots, the trash piling up.
Every time we try to go to bed at night, we have to keep it like this so nobody can kick in the door.
Besides this incident caught on camera, is Aurora in flames right now? Have Venezuelan gangsters conquered the entire city? And are the Hells Angels actually on their way to enact vigilante justice on this gang while the police sit by and do nothing?
This Venezuelan gang has indeed taken over at least some of the buildings. You're saying at least 2 of the 3. And what I just heard from you is you don't know how they ended up there. And you even made a suggestion that they could have been sent there.
But what we're learning out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex.
The city of Aurora is contradicting itself on the extent of Venezuelan gang activity in that city. The mayor told Fox News this week the gang is collecting rent at a troubled apartment.
Hey everybody,
complex.
Larry Lawton here. I have a good video for you today. This is about the Hells Angels motorcycle gang heading to Aurora, Colorado to face a Venezuelan gang named Tren de Aragua. Yes, Tren de Aragua is an actual gang that's in Aurora, Colorado right now, and they're creating some havoc right now. Are the Hells Angels heading that way? Well, let's look at this. Let's look at this from a deeper perspective. What happens when an infamous gang, the Hells Angels, set their sights on another gang in a different major city? We're gonna go and check that out too. In this video, we're gonna look how this whole thing even started. A lot of people don't know. All they're doing is looking on the internet and seeing a bunch of motorcycles going down the road. But we're gonna talk about why this is happening. Let's look at Aurora, Colorado. Aurora, Colorado is the 3rd most populous city in Colorado with 389,000 people as of last population check. That's pretty big. Now, they have different sections in every one of these cities, like every city does in the United States. You have good, middle class, and bad. That's just what you have. And Aurora, Colorado is no different. It's a city in transition. The economic growth in Aurora, Colorado is been on the rise. And what does it attract? It attracts business, it attracts housing, it also attracts criminals of different kinds of groups. That's just gonna happen in every up-and-coming city. Aurora has seen an increase in crime, mostly by gangs. And people think of Colorado as skiing and nice and, Red Rocks, which is the amphitheater for music. That's what I think about when I think of Colorado. I don't think of street gangs coming from California and even motorcycle gangs coming to confront them in Aurora, Colorado. Who would think? The Hells Angels are a notorious criminal organization, an organized crime organization. They deal in guns, they deal in drugs, and they deal also in a lot of violence, heavy-handed violence. They might be muscle for a lot of other either groups or even businesses. So that's the Hells Angels in a nutshell. They were founded in 1948 in California, just a bunch of bikers, and they became what they are known today. The Hells Angels are worldwide, but they've had a chapter in Denver, Colorado for a real long time. And that's what makes this, not surprisingly, I am not surprised that if this motorcycle gang is heading to Colorado.
There was
Why wouldn't you go back to
Galloping
brothers
Goose
in
in Los
another chapter
Angeles,
who might have problems
the Stray
with another
Saints
gang?
in Venice,
That's what they should do.
the
The
Question
Hells Angels
Marks
have
in
a history
Oxnard,
of confrontation with
the
other
Saint
gangs,
Slaves in
whether
San
it's the
Fernando
Mongols,
Valley,
whether it's
and
the
then
Outlaws or Banditos, shootouts in casinos. The Hells Angels are known to be in the hot spot, and they're known for violence, and they're known not to be scared of violence as well. So that is why this is such a tense situation right now for the officials of Denver, Colorado, and Aurora, which is another city. Denver's the largest city in Colorado. Aurora is the 3rd largest city in Colorado. Tren de Aragua, we're gonna look at them, and what are they doing? They're getting a foothold in Aurora, Colorado. They did come from California. They moved over, and they've been known for human trafficking, drugs, and violence as well. So this is a situation that could really get dangerous. Tren de Aragua is making money with drug smuggling, drug dealing, extortion on businesses, protection rackets, pretty much what the United States got mobsters like myself for. They're going to get them under the RICO Act. That's the only way to get a gang like this because they are smart. They have hierarchies, they have underlings, and they're pretty organized. People think they're just a street gang running rampant. They're not. A lot of these South American gangs coming up from South America, whether it's Venezuela, which Tren de Aragua is from, Venezuela. You also have the El Salvadorians, which is MS-13. They're also coming up. These are organized gangs that are very violent. These young people start murders. There are guys in those organizations that have murders at 11 and 12 years old. And I deal with police agencies all the time, and they're telling me how bad it is. And they have guys who've killed. How do you get a 12-year-old and think of him as your little 12-year-old neighbor, and this kid is already a seasoned murderer? That is what these gangs are about. Their presence in Aurora has gone not unnoticed. The impact on the community, that is what everybody is looking at. Listen, they have a lot of crime in certain areas, and especially these two places. There's like a complex with 2 apartment buildings, supposedly all gang members, all gang controlled. There was a video that went out on TV with these gang guys coming up the stairs with rifles and actually banging the door open with their butts of their rifles. That's what they're concerned about. The citizens, what is a citizen to do if this is happening to them? The citizens in that area are actually taking heavy 2x4s, putting them under the door handle and jamming them. I remember when I was a young kid, my grandmother used to do that. She lived in a kind of a not so good neighborhood, and they used to do that. So nobody could kick in that door. And if you have a 2x4 there, you cannot kick in the door. That's why they're doing that. So the residents are doing what they can without the police's help at this point. But they need the police's help in this situation. What happens if this tension is real? And what happens if they do conflicts? What happens if they hit head to head? Let me tell you something. There's going to be bodies everywhere. There's going to be serious violence. And the problem with that serious violence is the spillover into the civilian population. Listen, as an old gang member myself, organized crime member, call it what it is, we would always try to keep civilians out of anything we did, especially if it's on another group of some sort. We never put civilians in jeopardy. This case might be a little different. And these Venezuelan gangs like Tren de Aragua, they're a little bit more violent than most gangs in the United States. And the Hells Angels know that. So a conflict here is going to be really something to see. But let me tell you what I believe. I think it's all hype. I'll tell you why. Yes, the Hells Angels are saying, oh, it's all not true, but do you believe the Hells Angels? If they have footage, you can guarantee the Hells Angels are under surveillance at all times. They have their own stuff to worry about, meaning crime. Now, if the Tren de Aragua are taking money out of the Hells Angels' pocket or taking food off their table, that's when you're going to see a conflict. But you got to remember, the Hells Angels, and now Tren de Aragua, you don't think they're being watched? Listen to me, the biggest gang in the world is the United States government and the police. You don't think they have surveillance? You don't think they have undercover people? They've had undercover people in the Hells Angels. They've had undercover people in the Mongols and the Outlaws and all of the gangs. They've had undercover agents for years. So you don't think if there's a gang problem, they're not infiltrating them? They have so much technology today, from drones to mini drones. I watched little drones they're silent drones, the size of maybe a wasp or something of that nature. So if they can do that, why do they think, first of all, do you think the Aurora police think they need the Hells Angels' help? I don't. In fact, they know they don't need their help. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to convey a message to them. Hey, listen, don't come here. If you come here and cause trouble, we're coming. And believe me, the Aurora Police Department can get as many people as it needs. The governor can put out the National Guard and shut this thing down in an hour. So it's not like, oh, they need the Hells Angels to help these people. No, it's all about money. These are two criminal organizations. It's all about money. Do you think the Hells Angels are going to cross state lines, which makes everything federal? Once you cross state lines, robbing, doing something, going to commit a crime, you're under the RICO. Now, they know this. They're not stupid, the Hells Angels. You think they're going to go with that many people, understanding that the feds will know about it? Listen, these guys aren't stupid. They have not been around for a minute. They've been around for a long time. So that's the problem right now. I don't believe they're really going there. I don't know where the hype started, but it is hyped out there. And for Rico, I would know. And you also have to remember, the Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, who are they really terrorizing? And it doesn't make it right, but they're terrorizing other illegal migrants, people of lower means. They're not going to the rich areas. And I hate to say this, but the police would really be on this thing if they were in, let's say, Breckenridge, Colorado, or somewhere like that. If they're up in there, you can guarantee that the police are going to be all over that. They can't lose that kind of tax money. And believe me, it's about that too. So Tren de Aragua is really preying on their own people. And that's the same that was done by the Italians, by the Irish. When the mob came here, when organized crime really developed in the United States, it was immigrants from Italy who did they prey on? They preyed on their own people with loan sharking money and the gambling in their own communities. They preyed on their own. So most of these organizations start by preying on the poor of themselves. And it's a shame, but everybody's, oh, the mob was really, they have a lot of respect. They didn't do drugs. That's all BS. We know that. Anybody who believes that is living in La La Land. They prey on each other, and that's what's wrong. But at least you know that. Now, that's why it's pretty hard to actually infiltrate certain gangs, because they're so close-knit with the people that they live with. So, in conclusion, I don't believe for 1 second that the Hells Angels are really going there to confront them head on. Can a couple of bikers get into an altercation somewhere? I don't even think it's that. I think the Hells Angels are so big. If they came in there with as many bikes as you see on the news, they're going to shut down this Tren de Aragua gang. Although these guys are crazy too. They might be shooting out windows, and again, that's where the civilians come. But I don't believe that's happening. I don't believe the police even believe it's happening. But I'll tell you one thing. The police are prepared and they are ready. I contacted the Aurora Police Department, and as they say, they can't talk about any investigations ongoing, but they're ready. They know what's going on. They monitor social media. They monitor the gangs. They know what they're doing. Remember that. All right, guys, I hope you got the real take on this situation. Please like, subscribe, give me a comment. I love commenting on stuff like this, and I'll talk to you guys soon.